My Gavan and Melanine, and well met indeed. I am Arakia Galadirth, the head of the modding team behind Divide and Conquer, and welcome to Divide and Conquer as we continue on as the Easterlings of Rhûn. And totally unrelated to all of you, but I'm curious that she may well find me. If you did, Heidi, then hello. Right, to continue then. In the episode last time, I noticed in the comments that somebody said that Dorwinion have more regions than me, and yet I'm already saying that they've lost. And yes, I am, because they have. Dorwinion have now lost the momentum. This is the key switch. We have now taken back everything that they've taken from us, bar the little village of Curvasarg, and of course Bera Monarchus. But additionally, we've now got a solid line at the moment against the dwarves. We are going to hold Strondost with ease. It'll be a while before they break past Rukar on the river there. And in the south, Kavisar is such a solid general that I'm not really fearing anything other than a 20 banner army coming through that southern side. So it's only a matter of time, which is why I labelled the video as such. So that is why I called it as I did. What was I supposed to go to? What? I've not spoken English words there. I've just rambled at it. I was going to say something else, but I can't recall. Gondor. Yes, in the Gondor episode, we are coming to a close. We're nearly there. But some people have requested that I at least take 50 regions, and I thought, well, why the hell not? Also, a slightly bigger delay between Rhûn and Bree is quite worth it, so I probably will go for 50 regions. And I might then, we'll call it a day there, but then I might then cheat the ring to the mountain, see if it doesn't crash, and then if it doesn't crash, we'll get the actual victory message. And if it does, then the ending would have been a bit before that, and those that stayed would be at their peril. Watching at their peril.
How may I serve? We march.
Oh, well, that was a bad idea. Now we're in the no man's land. I've played Dorwinion quite a lot on DaC. They're one of my more favoured nations. Back before I got into YouTube, when I could actually play the game without worrying, and I would drop long sessions into it. But now I have to eke the time that I play it out in order to not burn myself out. So back when I played it quite a lot, I played Dorwinion quite a lot. I need to beat bloody Mordor to Curvasarg. And so I'm well aware that the road network of Dorwinion doesn't cover this large central area. The roads go up to the ports along and down. So if you get caught in the no man's land, you lose support of the roads, which is annoying. Right, we want to continue making money with the money that we're making. Those who have money can make money, and we shall aim to do the same. Do we save up for the mining network? How much are you giving me? 800. Hell yes we do. Jesus Christ. Were he something I were to believe in, then I would say he's blessed these mines.
Is our noble one.
No, I genuinely am true here. Mordor are going to try and rush Curvasarg because they've got Varfest over here. So they're coming in from the west and we've got to beat them there. Which is another reason why I think Dorwinion's days are numbered. Because Mordor is roaming around that area now on our side. But what I could also do with is a spy if Temujin's Glory can get me one. Yep. We're saving for mines. Don't build anything. What else was I going to say? Garrisons. Oh, I mentioned about the garrison, putting it in the town hall. There was a question that was raised that I see raised quite a lot, and try and survive. Yes. And that is about buildings. In the base game. Now, in the base game, it does have variations. I suppose not enough. Anyway, I'll get there. It raised the question, somebody raised the question of if the garrisons are tied to the town hall, what happens if you take someone else's town hall? And the answer to this very simple question, but one that I do want to iterate, because for every comment that you see, there's probably a solid number of people who actually do want to know the answer to that, or think it is a real question, if you will. Not a real question, that sounds very rude. But basically, to the gentleman that asked the question, the buildings are all the same, regardless of what the image and the name says. So even though, for example, have I got a guild that I can show you? The Warriors Guild. Even though the Warriors Guild for Rhûn is called the Dragon's Wrath Guild and the Master Dragon's Wrath Guild, and has these two images, it is actually exactly the same guild as the Order of Boromir for Gondor. So it's exactly the same building. So a town hall is a town hall regardless of who built it. So what I would hope to look to do, if it's possible, again I'd have to liaise with Racer, who's currently having some water troubles, and I do hope they are fixed, Racer. Water with his house, not with his own waterworks. I'll have to liaise with him, but what we may well try and do instead is link it to Town Hall and Garrison culture. Now the culture, or religion, let's go for religion, I should make that distinction. Religion is a really good shout, so what I would likely do is the first level of Town Hall gives nothing, then the second you get 1, third you get 2, and fourth you get 3. However, you would also need 25, 50, and 75% religion in those regions. Now remember, religion in-game is called culture, but in the files, the distinction needs to be made between the two, so that's why I call it religion. Well, we're at something of a stalemate as well, aren't we now? Oh, you'll get a fight in a moment when we rush Curvisig. They shouldn't get a garrison there, so with any luck we can just nip in and take it from them. We're moving around with reasonable impunity at the moment as well, aren't we? I think as well we should probably try and finish him off. Go up to his level, then attack him. So it'll hopefully be linked to the town hall size, and then one more beyond that, it'll also then be linked to the garrisons, to that city's culture, which I believe is really relatively straightforward. Now do note that key changes will mean, well, key aspects of this, the dwarves and the elves will not get the garrisons really anywhere but their starting domains. They will not change. But for everyone else, it will then resort to this like default system, except for, as I've already said, some key settlements we will amend. So like Minas Tirith, for example, will probably have 5 garrison troops for the AI. This also leads on to another question that was posed in the comments, which was about why does Henethanoon and Osgiliath, why do they have such large garrisons when you're playing as anyone but Gondor? And the answer is because Gondor cannot hold those regions. And when those regions fall to Mordor, Gondor is basically out of the game. So the only way we've been able to ensure Gondor's strength, and the base game does it as well, is by just giving a huge garrison to the regions that border Mordor. So that is why they have such vast region sizes. Such vast... my brain is all over the shop. Such vast garrison numbers. Because it keeps them alive. It's also just good, because if you play as Mordor, then you just can't straight away rush Gondor and hope to just annihilate them in one foul swoop. That won't happen. Hopefully, anyway. It probably does, but... Now, we attack them, which gives us some advantage, because it means that if they're running down the hill, we can just chase them down the hill. So, I'm not really sure what their game here is at the moment. I shouldn't really do it on time 6 when we're pressing all the wrong buttons. Oh, look, they're firing. Does that mean they've turned around? No, they're just running at the base of us. Now they've turned around. What are they going to do now? Surely those crossbowmen can't fire on us from down there. Cavalry, form up on that right-hand side. I believe I have the members for the Reforged video. Now, my apologies to Reforged, their creators, of course, because 0.9 version of Reforged came out this Saturday. But my video now, because I'm going to Italy, will not be up for probably just shy of 2 weeks. But I do have my competitors. It will be a 2v2. I'll try and use... I'm mostly interested just to see what it will look like for myself as well, so... Try and use nations that are reasonably heavily edited for Reforged. Oh, come on, get in line, get in line. And we'll just do, as I say, we'll just do a 2v2. Come and support, hit those high paladins. Crossbowmen are going down. Now, I must confess, I have seen some of Reforged, so I'm well aware of the goats and I'm well aware of the elk riders. I'm not going to have a fit with my leg up. I must confess that a large part of the reason why the dwarves don't get cavalry and DaC is not because the dwarves were so anti-cavalry in the lore, and it's like they would never ride cavalry, and also not because there just aren't goats that are strong enough to take dwarves in full battle mail. The real reason is because the dwarves, if they had cavalry, would have no weakness. And this is why I completely agree with Reforged adding cavalry, because against another human player, the dwarves without cavalry are really easily beaten, and it would mean that no one would ever play as them. So their options are, I mean, obviously for the campaign, we've gone with giving dwarves cavalry, but in the campaign it doesn't matter as much because the AI is not very clever. So even though they could come at you with a full army of skirmishers and take down your entire army without losing a single soul every single time, which is what a human would do, the AI obviously doesn't do that anyway. So the fact that the dwarves don't have cavalry is actually quite a good check on their strength, and it makes them not unbeatable. But as I say, if you're fighting against a human, they will use that dwarven weakness, slow speed, and the fact they have no good ranged options and no cavalry. They would use it against you, and no one would choose the dwarves. So in an effort to make the dwarves playable, they've had to bend the lore a bit and include these goats. And it isn't such a bend to the lore, because there are examples of dwarves riding cavalry. It's a bend to physics. If the dwarves were to ride ponies, then I don't think we'd have any qualms. But because they've got the dwarves on giant goats, and we know that giant goats are not a thing in Lord of the Rings, that's the biggest break. But as I say, the only reason DaC doesn't have them is because not having cavalry for the dwarves is a good way of ensuring they aren't overpowered. Even though they already are overpowered. I mean, if anyone has managed to lose as a dwarven nation, I mean, even I probably couldn't lose as a dwarven nation, and I've shown some real incompetence throughout my time on YouTube.
Victory both righteous and
I don't, we're not going to look at the stats for a battle that we absolutely should win. You only get a golden sword if we really pull off a really blinding victory. So I've seen the goats of Reforged, is the long and short of that. Oh, kill them all. Ah, Kabisa! Welcome to the family, man. Who are you? You are now the son adopted of Khan Margos the Kind. Good. I am quite keen on changing the name. I don't know who that's an answer to. I'm sure someone raised it. But I would also agree that, well, I like the name Khan for Khand, and I think Khand should continue to use the name Khan for their leader. But I think Lok Khan for Rhûn is also good, because it adds an additional word that isn't present in real life, so the Lok aspect therefore turns it to more fantasy setting. But I don't think Khan should be the heir for Rhûn. I think it should be something that plays more on their dragon line. I mean, we could even just not have one. And the Anduin are currently the only nation that uses this, but for the Anduin, there is not a title for heir. You're just the heir. That is your title. Oh, Jesus, Mordor getting involved. And we're the Yes. Yes, yes, yes. This is good, because we've, as many of you will remember from, what campaign was it? Angmar campaign. Do you remember when we assaulted a settlement with Mordor and we just let them do everything and we sent in some troops to mop up at the end? Well, the same thing's about to happen. Where are our allies? Coming from directly the other side of us. So let's try and get as near to them as possible, so that they really do soak up the flak. No, actually that's stupid, isn't it? Even just us being on this side will help more. Right, nobody get anywhere near until Mordor have basically used up every single thing that they've got. So what are they bringing? Morannon Guard, trash. Orc Host, trash. Orc Band, trash. Although that's unfair, really, because when all of your army is trash, no one is trash. So if we compare these in Mordor's terms, they've got some Orc Hosts which are passable. The Morannon Guard are better than nothing, and Orc Band aren't their worst unit. Although they're not going to do very well with them. Look, they're just running straight in, all in one line. But all they're up against is a general and 2 units of militia. Another question that I have seen raised regarding the garrisons from the Gondor video. There were a lot of good modding questions, and I like answering modding questions, so that's why I'm doing so. A lot of people have said they'd quite like to see unique garrison troops in certain locations, because what you may not know is that we can actually have a different unit per culture. Well, obviously you know that, actually, because obviously there's already garrisons. So every culture can have a unique garrison. Now, by that I mean actual culture and not religion. So the Northmen can have a unique garrison. The Gondorians, the Orcs, the Evil Men, the Mesoamericans. And so some people have asked for specific garrison troops in certain settlements. For example, Osgiliath veterans would be the garrison troop of Osgiliath. Minas Ithil Guardians would be the Gondorian garrison of Minas Morgul, and Minas Morgul Chosen would be the Orc garrison of Minas Morgul, that kind of thing. Now, whilst that would be amazing, unfortunately, the way the garrison troops work is they've got a little indicator on their unit entry. And all this indicator does is it says garrison troop. And the reason it has this is because when that unit is created, when the script runs and it generates that unit, it will generate the unit, Gondor garrison, whatever. And then when the battle is over and when your turn then ends, the script then runs a check at the end of every turn, or at the end of any turn where the garrison is created. And it deletes any unit that has that little check garrison troop. So any unit that has got garrison troop in its traits is then deleted. And this is the way that it ensures that your garrison troops only spawn for the garrison and then go. And obviously it does it at the end of the turn. So you could fight a battle in every single one of your towns and get a garrison in all of them. And then it would do this check and it would delete all the garrison troops. So that's how it works. Now, some of you will already understand why this is a problem then, because if we use the standard Gondorian Osgiliath veteran unit type, or unit for Osgiliath, then when it did its check at the end of the turn, it would kill all Osgiliath veterans, even those that you have taken out of the city and are currently using out in the battlefield. They would all be killed. So to get around that, every single garrison troop type is its own unique unit that cannot be, as you know, you can't train them, you can't find them anywhere else. And this is so that they will actually stay alive. So if we were to make Osgiliath veterans a unique garrison in Osgiliath, they would have to be a whole new unit just to do that. Which, as you will well know as well, we don't have very many unit types and would be somewhat of a waste. Mordor, what the bloody hell are you doing? Are you just trying to make my archers as least effective as possible? Because that's what it comes across like. Oh, they're absolutely wigging up.
Pray his troops do not lose their will to fight.
Alright, Mordor are not going to do this for us, but at least their deaths have cleared some space. I think their army will rout soon enough, so we're going to need to get involved. In we go, infantry. We're going to have to assist. Unfortunately, our anti-cavalry unit has caught their general out. Now, what you won't see, of course, in the Bree campaign, because I will not make any changes to these campaigns as they go on, is you won't see the change to the Dalian elite unit. Although you wouldn't see the Dale elite unit anyway, actually, so I don't know why I've just said that. Because what are the chances of me making it to Dale? They're very slim. There we are, now we're involved. Mordor have wigged out over there, let's leave them to it. We've caught the enemy. Our general, our ally has fallen, but soon theirs will. There he is. Atop his noble steed. You'll also be pleased to hear that after the overview where we fought against Khand, Hummingbird came up with a cracking solution, and the Brotherhood units have been amended in their design. One of the Brotherhood units has also been removed from the game, feel free to guess which one, and they will be renamed to something less night orderly. I don't think there's a word for that. I'm not really sure what I'm trying to say there. They will have a name that is less akin to a unit that would be part of a knightly order. I don't know what yet. We probably would just make a word up, because I really like the Suryut chariot name. I thought that was really good. And
our foe will surely see this and lose heart.
It's because their official title was something like the Warlords Brotherhood, and that's if you read their flavor description when I wrote it, I'm pretty sure I said they were like part of the Warlords Brotherhood,
Victory is ours.
and they were broken down into these different battalions with the Brotherhood of the Lance, Brotherhood of the Sword, Brotherhood of the Axe, Brotherhood of the Bow, and in exactly the same way that the Hinidawa, no, not the Hinidawa, the Heri Beng, Heri Lang, and the Herenek, the 3 units of the Woodland Realm. They are all part of the Arachir units, named it after myself, but because it means High Lord. So they are the High Lords battalions. That's the overall name, and then they're broken down into Lords of the Sword, Bow, and Axe. But of course, with the elves, it doesn't matter as much, because most of you don't know what Heri Lang, Heri Beng, and Herenek actually means. So to you, that is their name. But of course, to myself, who understands the meaning, what it means is Lords of the Bow, Lords of the Sword, and Lords of the Spear, which is a bit of a mouthful.
Yes, no.
Oh, bugger off. I didn't realise we were fighting to let Mordor get it. Oh my god. Oh, I've just given them the town. I would never have partaken if I knew... I thought I was already sieging it. It's alright, we're going to backstab Mordor once Dorwinian's dead.
Orders. An honor to serve.
I'm so tempted to surround the town with 1 unit of like, just surround it. Literally, just... keep them in there, no reinforcements, and when we backstab them, just take it from them. I'm not really too fussed if when we backstab everyone it all goes a bit south, to be honest, because it just makes so much more entertaining. Like, once Dorwinian's down, and then potentially as well, after we see what happens with the dwarves, the Rhûn campaign becomes very simple. And, I don't really want that. I want it to remain a bit of a challenge. So if the best way to make it remain a bit of a challenge is by attacking everyone, then I'm going to attack everyone. I'm also going to move on Rhubarb, because if all they've got in there is their faction heir, and again we can guard that river crossing there, and the other way around is all the way around here and then through the trees, which is quite lengthy. So look, yeah, you can come down the river there. So if we went and put someone in that fort, we'd at least get sight range. But they're most likely going to come through this way, I would have thought. So we will launch an attack on Thorin. Now, annoyingly, this is Lord Thorin the Just, the son, or Thorin Stonehelm he's called, and he's the son of Dane Ironfoot. He is not Thorin Oakenshield, but for whatever reason, the image of him is quite clearly Thorin from the film. But with a weird elven ear. I've never really understood where that image comes from, but to me that is Thorin, just looking to the left-hand side from the Hobbit films. Which probably leaves some people quite confused as to why he's in it when he should be dead. So, spoiler alert if you haven't seen The Hobbit there, of course. What do we do now, though? We've not really got enough forces to move on Bera Monarchus.
Yes,
even if Kabisar gets involved. Although if you go and stand on that bridge, and you stand on that bridge, at least together we will have more of a force. And Rukar, I do just want you to stay there. Let's try and make Strondos more useful to us. Oh, Melkor's Shadows here is really strong. Really strong. Others' culture, by the way, as another little interesting hidden tidbit for you, is going to be renamed to Nomad. And I wonder what that might mean, I hear you all ask. I think we're at another end turn there. Kargi, we don't need you there anymore. Head north. Oh, the Plains of Sorrow have fallen to Mordor. Dorwinian really are getting ousted. See, Mordor are going to be so strong that we're going to be fighting them most of the time. But then watching the golden hordes of Rhûn trample and destroy the trash will be very interesting. Ah, bugger. Well, this will be to end the episode then, I fear. For Torwald is trying to cross the river. Now, I think what we might try and do here is expend our arrows and run away, because we're never going to win this. Although Kabisar has one... He's a tricky little bugger. He might do alright. He might do alright. Oof. It always gets warm in here with the door and the windows closed. Apparently it's going to be very warm in Italy this week. Which doesn't bode well for me. I don't like the heat. Right. The bridge isn't actually all that useful, in all honesty. So... Of course we're going to use it, though, but... Now we'll try and use the catch tactic. And then if they look like they're going to come across this way, see, what I want to then basically is to make sure that they don't get past, but then once they hit there, then move the archers up and just pepper into the side of them. So for now, actually, don't fire at will. We need to use the bridge at least a little. No, I suppose you probably can fire at will. It's not that many arrows, is it? So kill what you can, do what you can. See, we've met them in glorious battle. And then we can just shoot into the back of them. That sounds a bit Japanesey, doesn't it? Good charge, nomads. Good charge. In and out, in and out. Shake it all about. 15%. Oh, they have got a general here. Is this for a town? No, it's not for a town, is it? No, they're breaking out. How are our men actually doing? Oh, they're getting really heavily beat. I'm not too bothered about the 2 units of trash, to be honest. If they die, they die. Get some of those hunters with us, though. Yeah. Come on, keep firing.
Curse the sun that shines on our disgrace. We must turn the wind of battle, or we will taste ashes instead of victory.
Pull out. It's time. Get the cavalry out. That's the most important thing. Sorry, men. Your lives have been found wanting.
Cursed foe has stolen victory from us like a thief in the night.
Oh, but they paid for it. They paid for it. 141, the Deceit hunters. Well done, men. There is the fall of Gondolin. Interesting story for Gondolin. Worthy of its own video, I must confess. It was sold out. Sold out. It was in a hidden vale. No one knew where it was. And an elf of all people sold it out. In fact, one of the few recorded times of an actual, what the modern world thinks of as a dark elf. Evil. Well, misguided is probably a better word. Yeah, the Fall of Gondor could very easily be a video. Also, about half a year ago, I said I was going to turn to like shorter but more frequent lore videos, and I never did in the end, did I? They're still like 40 minutes long. But as we delve deeper into the battles of the First Age, I think you will tend to see that the videos may well pick up in frequency, but shorten in duration. Oh, this is all they've really got out here. Now, Kabisar is very mobile.
Let us settle matters. Yes.
And he can get to Berdum and Arrakis.
It will be an honor. Yes, noble master. We close for battle.
Although probably a day behind. Yeah. Maybe not in time. Delling is in there, and he's got some men-at-arms, bladesmen, and pikemen. They really, really, really must be up against it if they're throwing out those crappy pike units. Again, though, we do want to be a bit picky and choosy in what we're building, but I would love a port. I would love a port in each settlement that can have one, because they're such a money maker. So you don't have a port yet, so you're the next target. Ah, Ruba! There we are. By my reckoning, that's almost set. I think it's dead. Wow. That's just... Right. You're going to be the scout for Winteria and Eor, and I will probably not need one up here, actually, because I can build towers. I may have already built towers. Is that tower right there? Yes, it is. Oh, the dwarves. Are they building towers, or are they pre-built? We'll see. We'll take that on the next turn. Quite the army we've built up out there actually now, isn't it? By accident, really. Defending against them. Strondos is getting a better town, militarily. Once you've built that, I will take one of them. And to be honest, a Warlord's Hall as well, because you get 2 free upkeep and you can train faster. So actually, Warlord's Hall next. That was the only other question. Is Lord of Links posed a question which we'd already discussed in the modding team. I haven't seen Total War Center yet, I'm afraid, Links. But you suggested that we should give the garrison its own building line. And but I would suggest that with the town hall now no longer having your building cost reduction, although I haven't removed the line from it that actually says that, but that is no longer effective. The building costs now have all gone to the building master builder thing. I just haven't removed the line, so that isn't actually there. So you get public health, you get free upkeep, you get recruitment, but those two are kind of settlement defaults. So really all the Warlord's Hall brings you is your order and health bonuses, and of course then it does allow you to train troops, which is why I think it'd be perfect for the garrison. But we did think about adding like a garrison building, like a barracks or a watch post or something to that effect, but we kind of decided against it. So if that is your proposal, which I imagine it is, it may well fall on deaf ears, I'm afraid. Have we got 2 spies and that all we're allowed? Yeah. Europe in the Eastern Grey Mountains. Why am I over here? Getting map info.
Be worth our time.
What are you feeding?
This proposal is of little interest.
You want 100 coins, 12 turns. Yeah, I can do that because then I can just reject it. I can just cancel that. I'm pretty sure.
Reach an agreement until we meet again.
I would quite like to see what you have. Ah, so Ilanen is either held by Dorwinion or it's still rebel. We know then that the dwarves have taken... Ah, no, apparently Dorwinion have the plains of Arafal. Interesting. Dale have been squeezed out, but they have got Witherboard.
Yes,
They have not made it further, though.
as you will.
Misty Mountains. Righty-ho. That is going to end today's episode, as we are at the end of the turn. Oh, no, hold on. More men for Kabisar. Get them out or I'll forget next time. So I do hope you've enjoyed this episode. As I've said in the lead up to this, I am now away for a week. So there will be a whole week off. 5 videos to the detriment. So it'll be a while before we speak again. And until that time, friends, Navar Naden Pedimad Melonin, and farewell.